Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I got some sweeties. It's managing. Strobes. Haribo strobes. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm all over the place.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, let's go.
I was just sending Mayor Chavez the notations on that legislation I had. It was actually worse than I thought it was.
What did he say when you brought up your concerns?
I mean, at the time, he seemed open to hearing my concerns, so I just, wrote it up and provided suggestions for changes and what he should remove. Um, it's a thing. But, if he's not willing to engage or if he doesn't change it, then I'll know I'll have to fight things other ways.
Hmm.
If you read this legislation though, right? I just read it that it's the Hank Act, as I said earlier. He actually slid in like retroactive protections from the LSPD too.
Like what?
I don't know if he meant to do it, right? But so it states when you read it, okay, it's the third chunk down, right? And it starts, police canines operating under the Los Santos Police Department shall be subject to the same standards of animal ownership as stated before. Absolutely fine. No problems with that whatsoever. In addition, they will be considered full law enforcement officers. Okay, fine. Like if it's got to be legislated, we can legislate it, right? They shall be afforded the same legal protections and status as law enforcement officers, including but not limited to the follows. So, everything that follows from here out, he is claiming as a de facto right of an LSPD officer, right? Because they shall be afforded the same legal protections and status as law enforcement officers, including but not limited to the following. So he's claiming these are rights owned by LSPD officers currently, right? And the one that matters is if a police canine causes bodily harm to an individual in the course of its duties, the Los Santos Police Department shall not be held liable for any resulting damages. That is a boilerplate liability waiver against all officers causing bodily harm for the LSPD already, because he's de facto claiming from his precursor text that they already have that right. It's worse than I thought it was, because I thought it was just trying to push it through for canines, but the precursor text actually already claims that as a right for LSPD officers. Oh, good.
Nope. Nope. Not good at all.
I wonder if anybody else actually reads any of these. Hi, Olive.
Hey. going?
I'm alive. How are you?
Also alive.
Congratulations.
Whoa. What are you guys doing?
Existential crisis about our legislature.
Why? What's happening?
Same thing that always happens.
Anybody got any food or
He's starving.
a little bit?
From one
Yeah,
British man to another.
I got some.
No, this should
Any
do.
more?
Should be right.
Nobody needs more than a doner kebab. Jesus.
I know.
All right. Bet. All right, well, I'm going to go
I hope
back
you
to
like that
work.
garlic sauce. I love that garlic sauce. Oh,
It was really good.
I know I could drink it. I like it mixed with the chili sauce.
you heathen.
That's
yeah,
wrong.
I know. I'm a wild child.
I don't. A little bit of chili sauce is okay, but I find it just overpowers the spice on the doner meat. I
Yeah,
want to
you could
taste
be
the
right.
meat.
I don't know, but I had some of the best doner kebabs I ever had in London.
Yeah, British people know how to fuck up a doner kebab.
Mm-hmm. Late night after the bars closed, you know?
Nice warm pita bread, all steamy and oh.
Yep. Good shit. Why are you having a crisis about our legislature though? Like what's going on?
I just actually read it. I'm reading the legislations that they're getting pushed, and it's like when you read them, and you actually like figure out what the language is stating, it becomes problematic very quickly. Oh, if you were trying to push legislation that like absolutely ensured you lived in a police state, where would you hide that legislation?
I don't know.
What about if you put it in something that like was bound to pass? Something that everybody wants and they don't care because
Legalizing
they just want.
marijuana?
No. What
Hmm.
about like licenses for a cute little kitty cat?
Oh.
You really like marijuana, huh, Oliver?
Yeah, I do.
What about harder
It's not a
drugs?
crime.
I mean,
don't
it
bring it
does,
to work.
however, lead to you coming to work in your pajamas.
No.
No.
Look, there's belt loops. Look closely. Belt loops? And
Permission to stare at your waist closely.
yeah, you can.
Okay.
And then look at my butt too, because there's a pocket.
Oh, okay. So they're actually pants.
Yeah. I thrifted them.
Well, it's very conscientious of you.
Mm-hmm. No fast
Upcycle those
fashion for
pants.
me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm going to
Do
go
you think
read
they
that
were made
pet
out of
legislation.
a little kid's like bed sheets?
Yeah, Richard said they look like they came out of a Happy Meal.
Yum.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to go read this legislation. I'll let you know what I find.
Okay, you do some data analysis for me and you tell me what you spot.
Okay, I'll do it.
Uh-huh. Police state, Doc. It's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yep, might be. That's what we're here for, though.
True. I kind of feel like we need a couple of extra steps to our legislature. You know, I think like we were saying earlier, a conversation where like it's open format, we can all discuss the issues with it before it goes forward. And then, you know, maybe a conversation like a month in to make sure it's not being abused in ways that weren't foreseen.
Yeah, I'd agree. Be like a review every like
Yeah.
after a couple months or so.
Because it's not just like I I had these discussions a lot as a judge, right? About the spirit of the law and the wording of the law. Sometimes people write things thinking it's going to be one thing and it turns into something completely differently just because some smart ass lawyers fucking interpreted it that way.
Yeah, I mean, like one that I don't particularly like is God, what was it? Fuck, I can't remember what I read the other day, and I really didn't like it.
I hate treason. I can articulate everything as treason. It's so wide.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
What did I read the other day? And it was like I read something, and it really pissed me off.
Legislation or a charge?
It was a charge, and it was like something to do with it was a crime against a person. Hmm. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's this stupid charge. Robbery of a law enforcement officer. Right? Robbery of a law enforcement officer, for some reason, at the start of the charge says,
You need imprisonment or kidnapping? Yeah.
yeah. Like,
I was a bench trial. Was this you? Was it the bench trial where when Norman articulated that, beating somebody up until they were unconscious was restricting their movement and thus this charge could stand?
that might have been.
I asked him the question after the fact. I was like, so if they then dragged the body into a bush to rob them, would that be kidnapping instead of? And he was like, oh, I see. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you kind of set a precedent there, Norman.
I can't remember. This is a charge that I think. Was it the bench trial? What was I can't remember. It was a bench trial I had to leave for. What was it? What was the? Who was that? God.
I just I don't even, I'm at the point, Doc, where I barely remember the people involved in anything anymore. What I remember is the legal decision made at the end. And I found the legal decision at the end to be like, oh, this charge needs rewriting.
Was it Remedy Creed?
Considering the amount of paperwork we all get to do now, do you not think it's about time that the fucking judges had to write bench reports?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, Remedy Creed was found guilty on all charges in a bench trial presided by Norman Adams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the purple hair.
Yeah, and we pushed robbery of a law enforcement officer because I really didn't like I thought that was, this was more spirit of the law versus the letter of the law, because it was like she
I think
robbed
that's what Norman stretched for. Yeah.
she robbed and this was also like, again, in my opinion, but this was like, I can't remember who I was with. It was Daisy. There was whether or not a DLC is a law enforcement officer, and per one of the updated legislations, there were law enforcement. I can't remember exactly what the exact wording was, but they're listed as a law enforcement something, and it's not exactly an officer.
Correctional officer, right?
Something
Different
similar.
terminology.
But it's along the same lines of a law enforcement officer. But anyway, robbery of a law enforcement officer says you've robbed a law enforcement officer of their equipment, and the fact that said, you had to kidnap them or, whatever the other thing was. I didn't like it. I don't like that that's in there.
It makes it it makes a charge for a very specific scenario instead of it being like, more open to an interpretation that actually fits the charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize she got found guilty of everything. I can't even remember whether somebody told me that or not.
Because your issue here is, right? Basically, this only works if somebody shoves a gun in your face and says, stand still, give me your bum.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, if someone's like sliding their hands in your pocket and you don't even notice you got robbed, like, yeah.
If you get pickpocketed for your like
Pickpocketed,
taser,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Like all that shit, right? Like anything. Imagine you're the jailer down at MRPD and you fall asleep at your desk and someone manages to get your hand in your pocket and take your keys.
Yep. Exactly.
Uh,
There's loads of shit. Okay. Is there anybody I need to speak to today?
I heard back from Lockhart. She's going to be around tomorrow, hopefully. So, I'm going to give it another go tomorrow.
I don't think there's anybody else particularly to speak to. Bones around? I don't think he's around anymore.
Mm. I was kind of amazed by the time we got up there. They were still doing their meeting.
I know, yeah.
I'm going to be real. I still miss the unified meetings.
Yep. But this is, I guess this is what happens when, I think this is what would happen whether the state split or not, I'll be honest.
It's interesting. I mean, I had this thing the other day. I got on duty and DJ was all like, I need you up at BCSO. And I'm like, why? And she's like, the BCSO were complaining that they got like ejected from MRPD yesterday for the meeting. Right. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, the chief's here. How about I stop and have a conversation with the chief? So I talked to the chief and then we all went up to BCSO together, myself and the chief, to like talk to their high command, right? Because like, we want cooperation. It can be competitive cooperation, but we want cooperation, right? We don't want them fucking like at war with each
Sure,
other.
yeah.
Stupid children, right? So we went up and they're all on the same page. The chief, the sheriff, the undersheriff, they all want like, if not a UPD, at least a cooperative, like, interdepartmental working thing. And it feels like there's like 2 or 3 officers who are just like stirring the pot constantly, causing a load of bullshit. And it turned out like some cops had like there'd been some insults the day before at the MLPD meeting, and they'd like kick them out. But like at that point, this is just last week, and they were like getting together to have like combined meetings. We saw Opal at the MLPD meeting earlier, and it's like surely it should be more like that, just a little bit more, not all the time. Do your own shit, but like just a little cooperation every now and again, especially when the chief and the sheriff want it.
Yeah. I think it's just going to take a little bit more communication from those at the top, and it's got to come down from there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't help when I think the mayor is a little bit
Did you read those legislations where he was calling them inbred and calling them contaminated? And yeah, it's political.
yeah, it's he's very very invested and against the North. He's very involved in PD. When I was talking to Cassidy earlier during an interview, he said that the mayor called up I don't know whether this was founded, but he called up a BCSO cadet and I was asking this cadet why they were disrespecting LSPD high command.
Ooh. I'll be honest, during that meeting I had with the chief and the sheriff, there was discussion about, because some of the legislation the mayor had pushed basically said that down here LSPD has complete like hierarchy. They have jurisdiction, and any LSPD officer can fucking lay claim to a scene down here, right? And like the sheriff and the chief were like, yeah, we prefer if we respected each other's chain of commands. Because apparently there were accusations of cadets stepping in on BCSO command and telling them this is our scene, leave.
Oh Jesus!
Which isn't great, right? Yeah. He's getting very petty because there was an accusation that the BCSO had like pulled off a call, And I laid out to them frankly, I'm like, look, if I hear that the 78s go out and there is like a threat to life going on, and y'all pull out because of fucking interdepartmental shit, I will step in, and you will hear from me. Because dereliction of duty and leaving a fellow officer to die because you don't like what color uniform you're wearing is fucking bullshit. Like I told them, like they know, so hopefully they maintain at least some levels.
What the fuck is going on?
I think he got shot,
I
though.
don't know. It's the same at this time every night, Doc.
What's your 20?
Kane. I'm at Strawberry gas station overlooking.
Yeah.
If Miller is conscious.
I'm not letting officers get shot and not get back up because their favorite team isn't the kind of officer that got shot. It's stupid.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, interesting times we're living in, for sure.
Did Sanguine fix anything? Did this actually fix anything? It feels as bad as it did sometimes.
Well, I mean, like if you look at like the reason that Sanguine started, like there was no reason for it. Like it was all.
There was people big dicking at each other. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
of course
stupid.
it was.
Just that fucking press conference on that helipad. Like Jesus, you know what it was? It was.
No, I mean, do you know how it like started from the beginning?
The bombs.
Yeah. So yeah, there was there was a police investigation into like bombs coming in and off the island, and like weapons coming on and off the island, and then the police had sent Johnny Devine undercover.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I heard every ounce of every little thing that happened to you, that whole debacle. Like as much as you did, right? Because I know it's high command. You'll have heard everything from your side, but like everybody was coming to me. It's why I chose to make a stand and talk to the press, because I had to. I couldn't say everything I knew, you know, but I could say enough to like lay out that I really was very unhappy, you know.
Did you ever hear that that Brian and Axel discussed killing Divine?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But, you know, it kind of all, I'll be honest, at that point, I was so unsurprised that they were willing to try and like cover their fucking tracks after what actually happened on the island. It was like, it was horrendous. And then, I mean, my big turning point was the fact that everybody involved was denied due process and were just fucking thrown away in jail. Like, if you, my entire argument was like, if you're claiming sovereignty over an island, if you're claiming everybody there is under your jurisdiction, you're claiming they're your citizens.
Hands quit thing with the reach level somebody.
They are your citizens. They deserve a trial. I was actively prepared to be arrested for treason for that stance.
It was mad times indeed.
There's only a few of us who lived through it, Doc, and at least even fewer of us who actually know what we lived through. I was called in as a judge, right? As a judge to give a deposition, right? Not personally, to hear a deposition, like swear somebody in to give testimony as to what happened on the island, so it would be like active evidence waiting for the trial. Veronica Mars, you know, the EMS who was involved. I heard it from the horse's mouth. I heard it all. Sworn witness testimony. The fact that nobody faced consequences for that was fucking wild. Wild.
Yeah. I definitely wish that I would have done more than what I did, but
I don't know what more we could have done, Doc. Like, here's the thing: we were both, at least I think we were on the right side of history, right? We both wanted to fucking hold people accountable.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I mean, in the process of holding one man accountable, the moment he essentially unsuspended himself. He went and got himself shot in prison, and he died. So that happened, and
Brian quit and walked away.
Brian quit before we even do anything. The only person we really got to even hold accountable was fucking Walter Christmas. That psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah. Dressing as EMS.
Yep.
Baiting people like Jesus Christ. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. The whole thing. Like, I just hope we've moved on. I hope as a society we've moved on. I hope like opening the borders like is worth it. I hope we do better this time.
There is I feel like there is a gravitational pull pulling us towards.
Repeating the history.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Here's my thing.
What is that? What was that? What was that? I don't know. It's just like a fucking, like something just drove in here.
I didn't see.
Okay, I think we're fine.
The fuck is that?
Oh, it's music. The songs.
Wait, what?
The songs.
Rain on me.
Grayson.
Okay.
You got this. Lollipop by Mika.
Uh-huh.
Joe Biden? No.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't think right now.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm very concerned that we're with this whole mayor versus mayor, PD versus PD. We're gonna get pulled straight back into this time it's gonna be a civil war. Versus
Well, either way, regardless of what happens, I'm going to hold people accountable. We have jurisdiction of the whole fucking island. Like, there will be accountability. Like, that they're not escaping that. Somebody literally drags us into war. There will be tribunals. There will be court cases. I will push charges on everybody.
Yep, I agree.
Like, there's no more. There's no more. I am above the law, senators.
I completely agree. The only issue that I foresee that if we get into a situation like that is that the both sides are gonna have people on their side. Like they're gonna have. I don't know. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it.
I just want to be able to work,
Yeah.
make things better. I want to train the next generation to see the world the way I see it, you know, with possibility and hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to be
You know the story of Damocles?
no.
I've been kind of labeling myself the Sword of Damocles, right? You heard of the Sword of Damocles, I'm sure, Doc. You understand
Enlighten
the
me.
connotation? Okay. In the ancient past, there was a beautiful civilization where justice reigned and they were ruled by noble people, right? And a young man growing up in that world was offered the opportunity by one of the leaders to come sit on the throne for a couple of days and figure it out and see what it was like to have all the power in the world. So he took it. And what he realized was, while sitting on the throne, there was a sword hanging above his head. And that sword was only held up by a single horse's hair. And it could fall at any time. And that's the sword of Damocles. It is the proverbial sword that hangs above the head of leaders, so they are held accountable at all times. Because nobody with infinite power should be comfortable. Ever. And that's what we are, Doc. That's what the marshals are. We are the sword of Damocles. We stand here ready to hold people accountable when they get too fucking comfortable and they get too cozy in their ivory little towers and they feel like nobody can touch them and they can do whatever the fuck they want. And it's not just the PD and it's not just the mayor. It's everybody who thinks they've got power in this city. San Andreas can be a beautiful place when you feel like you have infinite access to everything. But when they get comfortable, that's when they start pulling fucking weird shit and they start fucking, pushing us towards civil war. Where he is standing with all the tools the city offers and more, right? Like, not only are we the best trained, not only are we the best and the brightest, we have the fucking tanks. We have the access to the sniper rifles. Where we are waiting to fall on people who push this shit too far. I gotta say, Doc, I'm real happy you're here. Because, like, I always trusted you implicitly as a human being. More so than an officer. Just as a man, I feel like we see the world the same way.
Completely agree. I thought the same thing during the Sanguine situation,
Yeah. You just can't let power go unchecked. And I think that was why Sanguine got to Sanguine, because power went unchecked. And I'm going to be real. Kind of, when they opened the borders, the same people were kind of empowered, right? Things are changing. And where the change. And accountability is the watchword of the day. There was a span of time when, as a judge, I thought it was fuck around and find out season. I think it's actually, there's a time to reap, a time to sow, and I think that this might be the time to reap.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think I need to get clarification from, because as much it was the sword of Damocles, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of been having a similar thought, of being, I guess I haven't really pictured myself as a sword, but I like that idea. But I haven't really pushed myself too much yet, because I don't think I've really gotten... I think the way I'm picturing it, if we're using that metaphor, is right now we are being wielded by Angel. An angel
hasn't told me to do anything. I'm doing everything I need to do myself, right?
Right, but
I
I want Angel to be telling me how hard to swing.
I get it. And here's the thing. The reason I took this job over the LSPD job they offered me is because, again, like you, I've always implicitly trusted Brittany. I just have. Like, I trust her judgment. She always seemed fair to me. Like, and that's how I was trained. I was trained to judge people, right? And I judged her as a good human being. So I'm like, not that I'm not on team Brittany Angel. I am.
Mhm.
Like, in this position, everybody's accountable. I literally served under Alan Crane, but if I could have impeached him and put him in jail at the end there, I would have. Nobody. I want the same oversight over me, right? I want somebody to make sure I never let power corrupt me.
No,
Always.
I completely agree.
Important. Nobody gets a free ride. Nobody.
This is you know, it's one of those things where it's like with the marshals, there was the complaint against Dawkins the other week, and she was like, do you want to put it in a private report? And I was like, no, I don't. I should trust you enough not to look at that report. You should want
100%.
like
100%.
you are a marshal. You should want to be held accountable. You shouldn't even go near that report. So I don't need to put that in a private report. Like you are held to the highest standard. We are the highest standard here.
Have to be. Have to be. Because somebody has to be.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I'm never going to be first on scene, gun out, ready to shoot. That's not who I am. That's not how I'll hold people accountable. But Doc, it ends up in a courtroom, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yep.
That's what I do. And it's like you, right? Like, maybe that's not your strong suit, but you're going to do it differently, right? You're going to dig through the paperwork. You're going to look. You're going to search. You're going to talk to everybody involved. You're going to do it your way. And we should each be the best at what we do. And I feel like that's what they're building here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we need. We need different tools for different things.
No, I mean, like, we got Craig. He's the fucking he's a paperwork master. He will go through fucking guns and he will write subpoenas all fucking day long and spreadsheets and shit.
You know how I see him? I see him as a man sat in a room full of yarn tangled. And he just starts pulling. And he starts pulling.
He will untangle that shit, and you will come in next day, and it'll be crocheted into fucking 10 like little blankets. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. he'll literally crochet that shit into a search warrant and fuck somebody's life up.
Exactly. Yeah. No, absolutely.
No, I'm excited by this. I'm excited by the whole thing. I think that this has been necessary for so long. 11 years ago or something, 10 years ago maybe, they offered me the district attorney's position. But I knew at that point, it was just a puppet position. They had no real oversight. They were basically just the lawyer for PD who did what the PD said. This is the oversight that PD's needed for a long time. What that all government institutions have needed. Here's the thing, has anybody stuck their nose in the hospital and see what's going on there yet?
I don't think so.
It's coming, right? Not just the hospital, the EMS, the Department of Justice. I know we've dealt with complaints about lawyers. I've seen them, right?
Yep.
It's coming. It's coming across the board.
Yeah, I don't just want to keep looking at PD.
Yeah. I mean, that's your area of expertise. Who knows it better than you, Doc? You've done it for years.
Yeah. I mean, we've got DLC to look after too as well, right?
Yeah, but that's it, right? It's all of it. It's all of it. It's every little tentacle of the spread out government. And now that there's 2 jurisdictions, there's even more, right? Because they're all going to build up. It's going to get worse. We'll start getting complaints about different jurisdictions dealing with businesses differently. It's all of it. It's going to be so far spread. The fact that we have such a highly qualified group, it's going to be very interesting to see how we pull together. Because that's the main thing, right? Like I said, looking forward to working with you because your skills and your strengths aren't my strengths. And what we could do together is fucking terrifying.
I completely agree. If we were all good at the same things, it what would be the point?
True.
And I don't know whether you know, but Leonova's going to be onboarded very shortly, within the next few days.
That's it. When you say I've got a very specialized set of skills, that
Yeah.
woman's got a very specialized set of
Yep.
skills.
Yeah, you were saying all this stuff, and I was just waiting to tell you. So we've got Nova coming on as well. So, in other words, every single drug dealer and grower in the city is gonna feel
With
the
the
shiver down
tools
their
we
spine.
have at our, yeah, with the tools we have, yeah.
Yep. So that's gonna be something else that I'm sure that's gonna be something interesting as well, because it's not, it's easy to, a lot of people forget. I think, and in a perfect world, we won't have to look into all these government agencies at one
No,
point,
we could focus on other things.
like the criminal stuff. You know what I mean? So that is something we're gonna be paralleling and looking into a lot. So I think that's something that Nova's certainly gonna be putting a interest in.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because specifically with the legislation that got passed, I mean, I look at it and I'm like, right, okay, so we're decriminalizing marijuana, but it is still completely illegal to own any marijuana seeds. There's no cultivation legislation on the books. Where's the marijuana coming from? We're still dealing with an entirely black market. Now, we're not going to charge people end product if they've only got one or two joints, right? But like all like drug grow operations are still inherently illegal until cultivation comes in, and then we will move into like a black and a white market or a gray market, however you want to phrase it. It's gonna take time. Having somebody with her expertise looking at it right now while it's still a shit show, we're gonna learn everything. Everything. I've very little doubt.
Yeah. One thing that does concern me with like the breadth of the work we're gonna be getting is like organization.
Yes.
And while we're early in it, I'm thinking whether or not it's might be a good idea for us to get ahead of the curve and try and figure something out now. Because if we don't, it's gonna get messy. But I just don't
It's
know.
probably one of those things that once we get a couple of days breathing between hiring, that's when we need to figure out. Because the thing is, we can set something out, and then Angel hires 3 more people next week, and either they've missed that opportunity to set their own things up, or we have to re-scramble and start again, right? We need to know when like hiring is kind of like done.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think I just Angel like weekly meetings and stuff like that. She definitely
I'd
said
love
that
that.
it's something she's interested in, but she's been very busy at the minute. So there's a lot of things she's wanted to do, she just hasn't been able to. So I think that kind of stuff's coming. Yeah, I think it'd be good to kind of keep everybody on the same page, and updated on things and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things to do is teach. So I've been trying like engaging a lot with Dawkins, trying to like bring her up to speed on charging decisions and what she's doing and why she does it, and like working out her thought process and stuff. Like I'd love to like engage with like bringing on the new recruits and like talking to them each about like what they're going to charge, how they're going to charge, like prosecutorial decisions. Because I think that's a skill, right? It's one of those things where you've got it takes time.
Actually, you know what, Grayson? Can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Could you read a subpoena for me?
Absolutely.
I'm being a bit cheeky here, but
Oh, it's fine.
this is what I'm gonna pass this on to Angel, but I want you to read this subpoena and tell me whether you would sign it. Now,
Okay, is it a report?
Yeah. It is gonna be 11172. It is just a state marshal report right now. Now, I don't know whether you know anything about this case. Probably the less you know, the better. Because it will give you like fresh eyes. And just be honest with me. I don't mind because we're working together. Grayson's a great person to do this. He used to fucking sign subpoenas all the time. He guy used to be a judge. So he can be like, yeah, I would sign this. No, I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Why are you going to request sailing?
This is
Articulate a threat to an individual.
originally, I guess I should have written it down, but it was a combination of both the. I was originally going to put in about because seating you can use for like is seating only for like protecting individuals, or can it also be used for like
been generally it's been used for to protect individual life, and generally not officers' lives. It's got to be citizen. That's like the argument would be that you are impeaching on somebody's privacy, and the reason to that would to be protect another citizen. That is why we'd allow you to impinge on them.
I see.
Now this isn't a new judiciary, right? They might have a different take on it, but that's generally the way we've always dealt with it.
Okay.
I'd look for a threat against somebody actively.
Okay, if that's the case, then there's no point because I wouldn't be able to remove
But
the.
if you're gonna get 20 days delayed notice, that's basically right. And then after 20 days, this is gonna get provided to somebody.
Yeah. Let's change that. Let's take the ceiling off.
So I like the fact you've got an active timeline. I think the timeline helps you because it literally lays out specifically what's happening, right?
Yeah.
Do you state anywhere specifically what charges you want to press? Or what laws you think have been infringed?
Stalking is there suspicion of what crime was the charge at the top.
Stalking, right? So, yeah.
Now, if I'm being honest with you, there is a charge that we would be looking to push, but this is a subpoena that's being used to kind of concrete and being used in like a further investigation. So it's like, yes, we'd be looking to push this charge on the owner of the SIM card, but it's also being used to like further the investigation, right?
Yeah, okay, so one more time, what's the number on that one?
The report number?
Yeah.
11172.
Yeah. So here's your thing. Stalking's only a misdemeanor.
Right.
They might not give you everything you're asking for in relation to a misdemeanor. It depends which judge you get. Because you're literally asking for 122 days of records, right?
Yeah, I know that's the. I know I'm being cheeky asking for that amount of time.
I mean, look, if they want to rain it down, they could rain it down. But if they were going to rain it down, I think the least you'll get is probably from the 7th of August till now.
Okay.
Right? Because I think they'll go like the day before the first date you've given.
Yeah.
Right. To until now. But the thing is, if you asked for that, I think you'd get that. If you asked from the 7th till now, I think you'll probably get that. And then you could then use whatever you find to expand upon. It's up to you. Do you want to get a yes, or do you want to get them to rein you in as much as they want to? Because I think they're going to rein you in, is what I'm getting at. I think you'll get a yes. I think you'll get a signature. But the question is, how much are they willing to give you?
Okay, if
it's
you
articulated well.
There could be there is. I didn't want to like fill it up too much and throw in like a crazy amount of information. On the website as well, there is a change log where they put in like a change log of like things that are added. So on the photo that says join us, right? That page, that command page, whatever, that was added, and there's a change log of when it was added. It was added in like the 14th of June. Do you think it's worth adding in when that
Yes. The more dates you give, the more they'll probably like try to restrict you to the dates you're giving. Right.
Because I was thinking they could
got dates and timelines. Yeah. If you can stretch that out further back, I would. I'd also I do a quick copy paste of this whole thing directly into a a document with a spell check because I've noticed a couple of little things.
Okay, that's a good chat. Okay, yeah, I'll add that in. But in terms of like PC for a subpoena, this is Ocean King.
Because because here's the thing, right? You're showing a specific timeline which argues that there is repeated harassment of specific officers from this phone number, right? Which I think articulates that it is probable that people using this phone number are using it to commit crimes, right? That crime
Yeah.
based off, right? So I think that's probable cause that gets you there. Then it's just about how much they want to rein you the fuck in, because you've asked for so much. There's no way you're getting all that. No, not unless somebody's dead or kidnapped or actively there's a threat to life.
Right. Yeah.
I can't see that, right?
Yeah.
So then they're gonna have to, assess what you've got and then figure out what it is. Now, if you've got a date from like, did you say middle of June? You got a
Yeah, I
date
think it was
from
like middle of
there.
June.
They might give you like 5 days either side of that, and then all of the recent stuff. They might give you 2 separate time frames. They might restrict it out. I don't know. I feel like they're gonna give you. If I was doing this, I'd literally have given you like what you asked for from the dates, the 7th of June till now.
Okay.
But June opens it up a lot, right? Because that's like, now we're talking 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what they want to do with this?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll add that in.
I think they'll open it up more the more active threats you get against somebody's like life or limb, right? Or threats of violence. Those things are what will open up. Because then it becomes an issue of like public security and security of citizens at large.
I mean, the thing is, even if we just get a short amount of time, they could have sent more text to more people, and then we can use the evidence
the investigation will open
expend.
up exactly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
even here's the thing. I don't think the statement's bad, but if they knock you back entirely, I'd literally just change the dates you're asking for, start a negotiation with them, and like see if you can get, the 7th of August to the 18th of August or the 19th of August, right?
Yeah.
That would open you up anyway. And then you just go from there.
Okay.
If there's any communication with anybody else other than those officers, investigation open. Let's go.
That's exactly the plan, is to try and figure out exactly who these people might be. Because I'll be straight with you, Grayson. I have a burner phone that is contacting these people on this number, trying to get in with them. Yeah, they actually have through that join us. I'm trying to join through the website and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're an interesting group actually. This whole investigation has escalated to.
When I briefly looked at this stuff, and I mean just briefly, I was surprised at how long this has been going on.
Right,
that
April.
was the thing. I was like, oh shit, this is way earlier than I was like, I heard about the videos like the past couple of weeks. Like, I was like, oh, okay, this is okay. Oh.
Well, I mean, according to this is it kind of blew up with DJ last night, but according to DJ, the primary suspect Lucy Webb, when DJ was talking to them yesterday, casually, Lucy admitted to being both a murderer and a terrorist. She's expunged. And then I spoke to Crystal, who managed to get a tape. It was completely mishandled. There was no report or anything. But Crystal remembers seeing this tape back in, I'm talking 6-7 years ago, when there was the war in Sandy Shores.
Damn. Okay.
And it was a different tape, but it was the same. She thinks it might have been the same group, but she can't remember. But it rings a bell because she was like, I remember seeing something and getting brainwashed, but I remember shit like that happening around the time of that war in Sandy Shores.
Yeah,
So
I remember a lot of,
there was a lot of weird shit going on around that time.
Yeah.
But if you ask me to recall details on it, it ain't gonna happen.
It's so deep now. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember something. I remember. I don't know if. I remember specifically being up there, up north with First Temple, back when he was a judge, and we were talking with Reed Dankleaf, and he tried to pull some fucking mind wipe shit on us. You know.
Yeah, Reed's a bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, he really doesn't like being called a coward.
Yeah, no, I can imagine not.
My first ever court case, though. The PD hired me to defend them against a civil case from Reed Dankleaf. He'd been warlorded in a PDM, and he really wasn't happy about it. And he had like 5 lawyers, and it was me against his 5 lawyers, and I repeatedly called him a coward. I still got the scars. I still have the scars.
Yeah,
I won the case though.
you did.
Of course I did. I made it legal to warlord people.
You made it legal or illegal?
Oh no, legal. Yeah. I set it up that if somebody offered any kind of violence, it was totally fair game to neutralize the threat by warlording them, and they really weren't happy about that. I don't know if I believe that legal argument, but that's what I managed to do.
Damn. Yeah, listen. As long as you, you know, as long as you say something with enough conviction, you don't have to believe it. You just need to make other people believe it, right?
Doc, you want to hear a secret?
What's that?
Sometimes I just object and then start waffling, and the amount of people who believe me because I'm saying it is wild.
That's terrifying.
That's authority, right?
That's charisma.
And authority shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes. I think I'm gonna go lie down and eat my kebab.
All right, mate. You take it easy, Gretchen. All right.
See you later, dog.
See you later, mate. All right, let me add in the change log for the join us. There's 'Grayson's a gem, dude. He's fantastic. "14th of the 6th, 2024. Well, Aaron Webb did a 911 during that whole conversation, which is Lucy Webb's wife. So I'm gonna put that in our associates page as well.